Hey everyone. Oh, welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah.
I was thinking the other day about all these AI assistants and how they sometimes feel like all hype and no follow through.
Oh, yeah.
Like they promise to revolutionize your workflow,
Right.
but then you end up more frustrated than with a jammed printer.
It's true. It's a common issue. A
Yeah.
lot of excitement around AI for sure.
Oh yeah.
But actually turning that potential into, consistently reliable results is a challenge.
That's why I'm so excited for today's deep dive.
Oh, yeah.
We are diving into Chris Tansey's guides on templated AI agent creation.
Okay, cool.
He's got a whole series, right?
Yeah.
From high-level concepts to getting technical
Uh-huh.
with different output formats and all that.
Okay.
So our mission, if you will, to
Yeah.
help you understand how to make AI agents that actually do what you want,
Right.
even if you're not a coding guru.
Yeah. It's about moving beyond the buzzwords and into practical application.
Exactly. And Tansey's so big on this idea of templates, right? It's like he's saying, stop trying to reinvent the wheel every time you build an AI agent.
Uh-huh.
Have a solid blueprint, and things get a lot smoother.
I like that. Yeah. Think of it like a master chef with their go-to recipes,
Oh, yeah.
They can adapt and improvise, of course.
Sure.
But the core structure kind of ensures that consistent quality.
Makes sense. Okay, so let's unpack Tansey's core philosophy here.
All right.
His high-level guide kicks off with the why behind this whole templated approach, right?
Right. He's all about clarity,
Yeah.
consistency, maintainability, and scalability.
Got it.
And these aren't just tech buzzwords or anything. They
Right.
translate into real benefits for anyone using AI agents.
So break those down for us. What do those mean in practice?
Sure. So predictability, that means your agent consistently produces high-quality results.
Okay.
Integration means it fits seamlessly into your existing systems.
Gotcha.
Adaptability means you can tweak it as your needs evolve.
Makes sense.
And scalability, well, that's how you handle growth without your AI becoming a bottleneck.
So it's like the difference between a one-off script and a well-documented process.
Yeah.
One's a headache to reuse.
Uh-huh.
The other's a powerful tool that you can actually build upon.
Exactly. And that's why Tansey breaks the process down into 7 concrete steps.
7 steps to AI agent success. All right, let's walk through them.
Okay.
Step 1 is defining the agent's role.
Right.
This sounds obvious, but I bet it's where a lot of people go wrong.
You'd be surprised how often people jump into the technical weeds without a clear vision at all.
Yeah.
It's like setting off on a road trip without even knowing your destination.
Right.
Tansey stresses that defining the role is like creating a job description.
Okay.
What does this AI agent do? What's its broader purpose within your system or workflow?
Right.
And what are the boundaries of its responsibility?
Okay, so no more vague directives like
Yeah,
make my business better.
right.
We need specifics.
For sure.
So for example, if I wanted an AI agent to help me with research,
Okay.
what might its role be?
You could call it your research summarization agent.
Okay, I like that.
Its purpose is to sift through tons of information
Uh-huh.
and condense it into key insights,
Okay.
saving you time and mental energy.
Right.
Its boundaries might be that it focuses on specific types of sources, like academic papers or news articles, but not social media chatter,
Gotcha.
and that it delivers summaries, not original research.
I'm already seeing how that would be useful.
Right.
All right, step 2 is setting a specific goal.
Yes.
So in our research agent example, what's a good goal versus a bad one?
A bad goal would be find me interesting information.
Okay.
Way too vague.
Yeah.
A good goal would be something measurable.
Okay.
Like summarize the key findings of the top 10 most cited articles on topic published in the last 5 years.
Ah, so we're bringing in those SMART goals.
Yes.
Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
Exactly.
I'm sensing a theme here. Clarity seems key to every step.
Absolutely. And that leads us right into step 3.
Okay.
Providing structured instructions.
All right.
This is where it gets really interesting. Tansey compares it to writing a recipe.
Okay.
If the steps are jumbled or missing details, you're headed for a culinary disaster.
Oh, thank you. I can relate. I once tried making my grandma's famous lasagna,
Oh, yeah.
but her recipe was more like a list of vague suggestions.
Oh, no.
It did not end well.
I bet. Just like a recipe needs a logical flow.
Uh-huh.
AI agents need clear sequential instructions.
Okay.
It's about breaking down the task into a series of actions, each building on the previous one.
Right.
This minimizes ambiguity and maximizes the chance your AI agent gets things right.
Okay, so no more digital lasagna disasters.
Exactly.
So how detailed do these instructions need to be?
Oh, okay.
Are we talking code here?
Not necessarily. Tansey gets into the technical details in his other guides,
Right.
which we'll discuss
Yeah.
later. But even at this high level, it's about thinking through the logic.
Okay.
Let's take our research agent example.
Uh-huh.
First, it needs to know where to find those top 10 articles.
Okay.
Then it needs instructions on how to summarize them, should it focus on the abstract.
Yeah.
Pull out key quotes.
Uh-huh.
Identify the main arguments.
Okay.
The more precise you are, the better.
So it's less about the specific programming language
Yeah.
and more about outlining the thought process,
Right.
like a flow chart for the AI's brain.
That's a great way to put it. And that logical thinking carries over into step 4,
Okay.
defining output expectations.
Right. We're not just creating these AI agents to think.
Yeah.
We want them to produce something useful.
Exactly. And this decision impacts the entire design process.
Okay.
Do you want structured data,
Uh-huh.
like a spreadsheet or a database entry?
Right.
Or are you looking for something more flexible and creative,
Okay.
like written content or a visual representation of the data?
So for our research agent, a structured output might be a table listing each article's key findings,
Mm-hmm.
while a flexible output could be a written summary paragraph for each article.
Exactly. And thinking about this early on helps you refine the previous steps.
Makes sense. So we've got a role, a goal, clear instructions, and an output format.
Right.
What's next?
Step 5 is all about the user experience,
Okay.
designing clear user prompts.
Those are the questions or instructions that guide the human interacting with the AI agent.
Precisely, we want prompts that are easy to understand,
Okay.
concise,
Uh,
and give the user just enough guidance to provide the right information.
so for our research agent,
Yeah.
a good prompt might be, what topic should I research today?
Okay.
But a bad one would be like input research parameters specifying keywords, publication date range, and desired output format.
Exactly. That bad prompt is way too overwhelming.
Right.
And it assumes the user knows all this technical jargon.
Right.
Good prompts make the AI agent feel helpful, not like another hurdle to overcome.
I like that. All right. Step 6 brings up a concept I find fascinating.
Right.
Specialization.
Yes.
Tansey's suggesting that sometimes it's better to have multiple AI agents working together,
Uh-huh.
each with a very focused task.
He makes an analogy to a restaurant kitchen. You wouldn't expect one chef to be equally skilled at baking pastries, grilling steaks, and making sushi.
Oh, right.
It's about efficiency and expertise.
So you might have one AI agent that's a master at finding relevant sources.
Yeah.
Another that excels at summarizing.
Uh-huh.
And yet another that specializes in formatting the output in a visually appealing way.
Exactly. And breaking down a complex task into smaller specialized roles can make your AI agents more manageable, less prone to errors, and easier to scale as your needs grow.
Got it. So we're almost through all 7 steps of Tansey's process.
Right.
What's the final piece of the puzzle?
Step 7, and it's a crucial one.
Okay.
Iterative improvement.
The never-ending quest for AI perfection. I have a feeling this is where a lot of people drop the ball.
It's tempting to think you can build the perfect AI agent from the get-go.
Yeah.
But the reality is, even the best systems need tweaking and refinement.
Right.
This step is all about building in a feedback loop.
Okay.
You gather data on how the agent is performing, get input from users,
Okay.
and use that information to refine the role, the goal, the instructions, even the prompts.
So it's about embracing the fact that AI development is a journey, not a destination.
Exactly. And that journey continues in Tansey's other guides,
All right.
where he dives into the technical specifics of building these templated AI agents
Okay.
with and without defined output formats.
This is where things get a little more hands-on, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about how to actually implement these concepts using specific tools and techniques.
Precisely. But before we get into those technical details, it's worth revisiting Tansey's logic checklist
Okay.
from his high-level guide. It's a great way to summarize the core principles that underpin this entire approach.
Sounds like a great way to wrap up part 1 of our deep dive. We'll be back soon to unpack that checklist and delve into the nitty-gritty of actually building these templated AI agents. See you in part 2.
Welcome back, listeners. Before we jump into the technical nitty-gritty of Tansey's AI agent creation guides, we promised a recap of his logic checklist from his high-level overview.
Right.
It's like a cheat sheet for building reliable AI.
Okay.
And it ties directly into everything we'll be discussing in this episode.
All right, let's refresh our memory on those key principles.
Okay.
What's the first item on Tansey's list?
Clarity in defining the agent's role and scope. This one's so important. He mentions it right at the start of his high-level guide, and it's the first item on the logic checklist.
Yeah, it's like laying the foundation for a house. Get that wrong, and everything else is going to be wonky no matter how fancy your building materials are.
Exactly. A poorly defined role leads to confusion, inefficiency, and ultimately an AI agent that doesn't deliver what you want.
Okay, so clarity is paramount. What's next on the checklist?
Specificity and actionability in setting the agent's goals. Remember, vague objectives like improve efficiency just aren't going to cut it. We need those laser-focused, measurable goals that give the AI agent a clear target to hit.
It's like the difference between telling someone to go exercise versus giving them a training plan that says run 3 miles 3 times a week at an 8-minute mile pace. One's a wish, the other's a plan.
Precisely. And those specific actionable goals directly inform the next checklist item: logical structure and sequential clarity in instructions.
Our old friend, the recipe analogy. No more AI agents making digital lasagna disasters because the instructions are all out of whack.
Right. We need to break down the task into a clear and logical sequence of steps, each one building on the previous one. And this applies whether you're giving instructions in plain English or using a more technical language.
Okay, so we're thinking like programmers. Even if we're not actually writing code at this stage, what's the next principle on the checklist?
Clearly articulated decision-making on output formats. This is where we decide what kind of results we want the AI agent to produce: structured data like spreadsheets or something more flexible and creative.
And Tansey actually goes deeper into this in his technical guides, right? He's got one specifically for defined output formats and another for situations where you need more open-ended results.
Exactly. But even at this high level, it's crucial to consider the output format early on. It impacts everything from the way you structure the instructions to how you design the user prompts.
It's like knowing whether you're making a smoothie or a soup. The ingredients might be similar, but the process and the end result are totally different.
Great analogy now. Let's shift our focus to the user experience with Tansey's fifth checklist item: user-centric design of prompts.
Those all-important questions or instructions that guide the human interacting with the AI agent, we want to make this as smooth and intuitive as possible.
Exactly. We need prompts that are clear, concise, and informative, making it easy for users to provide the right information without feeling overwhelmed or confused.
It's like the difference between a well-designed website and one that makes you want to pull your hair out trying to find what you need.
Right. User-friendly prompts are key to making your AI agent feel like a helpful assistant, not a technological roadblock.
And speaking of making things easier, Tansey's next checklist item is all about thoughtful consideration of agent specialization.
This is where we channel our inner project manager and decide if we need a team of specialized AI agents, each with their own unique skill set.
Remember the restaurant kitchen analogy? Sometimes you need a pastry chef, a grill master, and a sushi expert all working together to create a culinary masterpiece.
Exactly. And the same principle applies to AI agents. By breaking down a complex task into smaller specialized roles, you can boost efficiency, accuracy, and scalability.
Got it. So we're nearing the end of Tansey's logic checklist. What's the final all-important principle?
Continuous improvement through iterative feedback loops. This is the heartbeat of successful AI development.
It's like saying, okay, we've got a good foundation, but let's not rest on our laurels. Let's keep learning, refining, and adapting to make our AI agents even better over time.
Precisely. You gather data on the agent's performance, get input from users, and then use that information to make adjustments, tweaking the role, refining the goals, adding clarity to the instructions, even improving the user prompts.
So it's about embracing the fact that building AI is a continuous journey, not a one-time project, right?
Exactly. And that brings us to the end of Tansey's logic checklist. 7 key principles that frankly apply to far more than just AI development. They're about sound thinking, clear communication, and a commitment to ongoing improvement.
You know, it strikes me that this checklist could be useful for any project, whether you're building a website, writing a book, or even planning a vacation.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things I appreciate about Tansey's approach. He's not just giving us technical instructions, he's offering a framework for thinking about problem solving and process design in a more intentional way.
Okay, so we've revisited the high-level why of Tansey's approach and recapped his logic checklist. Now, are you ready to get into the how?
Let's dive into those technical guides. Remember, Tansey offers 2 distinct paths, one for creating AI agents with defined output formats, and another for those where the output needs to be more flexible and creative.
All right, listeners, this is where we roll up our sleeves and get a little more hands-on. First up, we'll be exploring Tansey's guide to templated AI agent creation with defined output formats. So buckle up. It's about to get technical. Welcome back. We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, from the high-level why of Tansey's templated approach
Right.
to that handy logic checklist that's basically a cheat sheet for good thinking.
Exactly.
And now we're ready to get hands-on.
Yes.
Remember those 2 technical guides Tansey offers?
Yes.
We're starting with his guide to templated AI agent creation with defined output formats.
Okay.
This is where we see those abstract principles we've been discussing come to life, right? We're talking about how to actually build AI agents that deliver predictable, structured results.
Exactly. Think of things like spreadsheets, databases, or specific data formats, anything where you need that consistency and reliability.
So for folks who work with data a lot, this is going to be gold, right?
Oh, yeah.
Imagine you could have an AI agent that automatically pulls data from various sources, cleans it up, formats it neatly, and even performs some basic analysis, all without you lifting a finger.
That's the power of defined output formats. You're essentially telling the AI agent, this is exactly what I need the results to look like, and it takes care of the rest.
Okay, so let's walk through Tansey's process here. He actually starts by reminding us of those 7 steps from his high-level guide.
Right.
But now we're looking at them through the lens of structured outputs.
Right. So those steps, defining the role, setting the goal, crafting those clear instructions, and so on, they all still apply.
Okay.
But now we're adding an extra layer of precision because we're working towards a very specific output format.
So for example, in step 4, defining output expectations. We're not just saying, I want a summary. We're saying, I want a summary in a table format with these specific columns and data types.
Well, exactly. And Tansey actually provides a ton of guidance on how to do this effectively. He even gives examples of different output formats and how to choose the right one for your needs. He's got tables, CSV files, JSON objects, you name it.
He even talks about XML, which, let's be honest, most people try to avoid like the plague.
Well, sometimes it's the right tool for the job, and Tansey's not afraid to get into the weeds when it's necessary. He's all about giving you the knowledge you need regardless of your technical background.
I appreciate that about his guides. He doesn't shy away from the complexity, but he explains things in a way that makes sense even for someone like me who's not a hardcore coder.
Right. So back to those defined output formats, once you've got that clearly specified, it actually makes the other steps easier. Well, think about it. If you know you need a table with specific columns, that informs how you structure your instructions and what kind of data the AI agent needs to gather. It's like having a blueprint that guides the entire building process.
So it's not just about the end result. It's about having that clarity from the very beginning, which makes the whole process smoother and more efficient.
Precisely. And that brings us to the heart of Tansey's technical guide, the actual implementation. He walks you through the tools and techniques you can use to create these templated AI agents with defined output formats.
Okay, so this is where it gets a little more code heavy, right?
Yes, he does get into the specifics of programming languages and frameworks. He mentions Python quite a bit as it's a popular choice for AI development.
And what about those pre-trained models we talked about earlier, like GPT-3 and its successors? Are those part of the equation here?
Absolutely. Tansey talks about how you can leverage those pre-trained models as building blocks for your AI agents. They can handle tasks like natural language processing, text summarization, and even data extraction, which can save you a ton of time and effort.
So even if you're not a coding wizard, you can still build pretty sophisticated AI agents by using these pre-built components, kind of like snapping together Lego blocks.
That's a great analogy, and Tansey actually emphasizes the importance of using the right tools for the job. He's not a purist who insists on hand-coding everything from scratch. He's all about finding the most efficient and effective solutions.
I like that pragmatic approach. It's about getting things done, not about showing off your coding skills.
Exactly, and that's why Tansey's technical guide is so valuable. He gives you a practical roadmap, not just a theoretical overview.
Okay, so we've got this roadmap for creating AI agents with defined output formats. But what about those situations where you need more flexibility, where the output isn't predetermined?
That's where Tansey's other technical guide comes in, templated AI agent creation without defined output formats. It's all about building AI agents that can handle more creative, open-ended tasks.
So this is where we get into things like generating written content, composing music, or even creating art, right?
Exactly. Think of tasks where you want the AI agent to come up with something new, something original, something that goes beyond just rearranging data in a predefined way.
This sounds exciting, but also a lot more challenging. How do you even begin to create a template for something that's inherently unpredictable?
That's a great question, and it's one that Tansey tackles head-on in his guide. He explains that even without a predefined output format, you can still create a template that guides the AI agent's creative process. It's about providing a framework, a set of principles, a structure that encourages innovation while still maintaining some level of control.
Okay, I'm intrigued. So what does this look like in practice?
Well, let's take the example of an AI agent that's designed to write short stories. You wouldn't tell it exactly what to write word for word, but you could provide it with a template that includes elements like the setting, the characters, the plot points, the theme, or even the desired tone or style.
Okay, so it's like giving the AI agent a story outline, but letting it fill in the details with its own creativity.
Exactly, and that's just one example. Tansey goes into detail about how to create templates for different types of creative tasks, from music composition to image generation. He even talks about using AI agents to design video games and write screenplays.
Wow, that's amazing. It's like we're giving these AI agents the tools to become artists in their own right.
In a way, yes, but it's important to remember that we, the humans, are still the ones providing the guidance, the inspiration, the spark that ignites the creative process. We're the directors, the composers, the authors of this new AI-powered era of creativity.
That's a powerful thought. So we've explored Tansey's technical guides to creating AI agents with and without defined output formats. What's the key takeaway here for our listeners?
I think the most important thing is that Tansey demystifies the process of AI development. He shows that you don't have to be a coding genius to create powerful, useful AI agents.
It's about applying those principles of clarity, structure, and iterative improvement that we discussed earlier, and it's about embracing the fact that AI is a tool, a partner in problem solving and innovation.
Exactly, and once you understand those fundamentals, the possibilities are truly endless. You can create AI agents that streamline your workflow, automate tedious tasks, generate creative content, and even help you explore new ideas.
So think about it. What's one task in your life that a templated AI agent could handle? Go ahead and get creative, because the future of AI isn't just in the hands of experts, it's in yours too.
Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey.